might be asking yourself, AK, why are you showing me one of those EDM raves that all the youths go to with the marijuana and the herpes and the other shenanigans? What's going on? Yeah, no, it's not any of that. That's actually footage from the Tony Robbins seminar that my partner in Macro Ops, Tyler, just went to. So Tony Robbins, if you don't know, is the #1 psychology coach in the game. So you've seen Wendy from Billions, right? And what she does? Well, Tony is the real version of that. And Wendy is actually based off him. They're really nothing alike, but that's what they say. So Tony Robbins is the guy who actually coaches the billionaire traders like Paul Tudor Jones. And I even made a video about that before, about the advice that he gave to Paul Tudor Jones. I'll link to that video up above right here if you want to watch it. And it's not just billionaire investors that he coaches. He coaches pretty much every famous person you could think of. If they're successful, they're probably going to Tony. We're talking about Oprah, Usher, Bill Clinton, Leo DiCaprio, just everybody. Like I said, he's #1. But he doesn't just do this high profile coaching. He also has these seminars that a lot of people go to. So Tyler went to one of them called The Power Within, and that was the footage you just saw. And that thing ran like 3 or 4 days, 14 hours a day, nonstop. It's super intense. And Tyler's ticket costs $3,000. And that's really the cheap version. If you want to be front row, it's something like $58,000. It's crazy. But Tony is literally the best, so people will pay that. And I'm going to put Tyler on and he's going to talk about his experience, and you'll see that he thought it was worth every penny.
Hey guys, it's Tyler, one of AK's partners over at Macro Ops. And he wanted me to come on the channel to quickly explain what I did last weekend. And what I did was went to a Tony Robbins event called Unleash the Power Within. And it's a really interesting event, super high energy. You learn how to get all pumped up. You go like this, you get in the peak state, and he gets you all wild and excited. And then he goes into talks about psychology, emotional states, and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of it's actually very applicable to trading. And so Tony Robbins is a coach that works with guys like Ray Dalio, Paul Tudor Jones, the titans of the hedge fund industry. And after going to this event, I see why now, because he really knows how to get into your mind and make you into what he calls a peak performance state. And when we're in that peak performance state, it's when we can trade the best. And anyone who's traded knows this. When you're doing well and you're making a ton of money, you sort of automatically get into that peak performance state. And when you're doing that, you're gonna be able to take the best trades going forward. You're gonna be able to stick to your process. You're gonna be able to be disciplined. But when stuff gets bad and you're in drawdowns and you're slowly losing money, then you get into these negative states. And even though you really shouldn't be in those states, because you still are, you're a consistently profitable trader, just like guys like Paul Tudor Jones and Ray Dalio, you tend to do things that aren't optimal because you're in these negative states. So he goes through tons of exercises over the weekend that allows you to get quickly into the prime state. And it's a little funny. Like you're doing a lot of jumping up and down, and you kind of think like, is this gonna work, or is this a bunch of bullshit? But by the end of the weekend, man, you're just so freaking energized, and you know how to get yourself pumped up. You know how to prime your mind to get ready for each and every trading day, and it's something that I highly recommend. I mean, Tony Robbins blows someone like Wendy from Billions out of the water. I really like his style because he is active, he is in your face, there's a lot of movement involved, he does a lot of jumping, a lot of exercises, and that really helps me and get ready for the trading day, and also get myself out of little trading slumps. Whereas, someone like Wendy from Billions sitting on the couch and kind of talking, that stuff can be nice, but I really think Tony Robbins' approach is #1. So if you guys ever have the chance to check this thing out, please do. It was called Unleash the Power Within. I highly recommend the program to anyone. Thursday night we did something crazy, which is we did this hot coal fire walk, which I never even dreamed I'd be doing anything like that. But after that, it just got me so pumped up and ready to get it. And like even if your thing isn't trading and you're working in a business or something else, it's gonna help you get to the next level in that. So highly recommend Unleash the Power Within. Check out that Tony Robbins thing, and yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Tony is all about that mind-body connection. So if you watch Billions, you'll see Wendy sitting down with her clients, talking to them, right? Tony is all about moving around. Of course, he does the talking and the counseling too, but a lot of his stuff, especially at the conferences, is physical. A lot of people think that the brain is its own thing, as if it's not connected to the body, or at the very least that the mind controls the body fully. The body doesn't have any reversal effect on the mind, but that's not true. They both affect each other because they're both really connected. So for example, you smile when you're happy, right? First you get happy in your brain and then you start smiling. But it actually works the other way around too. Like if you force yourself to smile right now and you keep that smile for a little bit, all of a sudden you will start feeling happier. So you just do it for a second. Yeah? Maybe don't smile like that, but you will see the actual effect of your muscles moving in your face and in your mouth to smile. That releases some endorphins in your brain. So one affects the other, and it's kind of a reflexive loop too. Another example is the power stance. I'm sure you heard of that before in the self-help stuff, right? They tell you to expand your body, really reach out, really cover a lot of space, and all of a sudden you feel more powerful. Now, I don't know, the power stance never did it for me, but for a lot of people, just making that movement really makes them feel more confident. Because again, it's affecting the brain. Another example is improv. If you ever go take a class, one of the first things they have you do is move around and do weird stuff with your arms and legs, because just doing that loosens people up. It has an effect on the brain again, so they feel more comfortable and they can get into it, start making some jokes, So like Tyler was saying at the conference, there's tons of yelling, tons of moving around, jumping up and down, because Tony is teaching you how to control your mind through your movement, which also I forgot to mention, that's how yoga works, Tai Chi, all these Eastern exercise things. And even if you're just at the gym, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he talks about how lifting is a form of meditation for him because it really gets him in that flow state more than anything else. And that makes sense. It's another mind-body connection. So apart from what Tony teaches about what you can do yourself, like jumping up and down, getting your energy really high up when it's low, he's also big into changing your environment to affect your mood and how you feel. So Tony does a lot of hot and cold training. Like he'll be in a sauna for 10 minutes and then jump in a really cold freezing pool for 10 minutes. He alternates that hot and cold. And doing that starts triggering your nervous system. So hormones start to be released just from that outside stress of going from extreme hot to extreme cold. And it really makes you feel better because all this AC that we live in and controlled heat, we always have our temperature controlled. It's nice, but we lost a lot of our adaptive qualities that we evolved with when we didn't have something like AC. And those things that our ancestors have are really important for our health and our mental health. So if you've ever heard of Wim Hof, the Iceman, he's big into cold training. So one of the things he says about taking cold showers is that it actually helps with depression. Because again, you're getting that shock from the cold water and that hormone release that kicks you out of the chemical imbalance that you have that is causing the depression. And again, this is all very physical stuff to help your psychology and your mental health. Another thing Tony does is meditation. So I remember listening to a podcast with him. I don't know if it was Tim Ferriss or what, but he was talking about how he does his gratitude meditation. So I think he puts his right hand on his heart and then he closes his eyes and he starts saying all the things he's grateful for, or 3 things. And he has shown medically that when you do that, because he had the EKG hooked up and all this stuff so they could track his brain waves and his heartbeat. And it showed when he was doing this that the heartbeat and the brain waves synced up. It's pretty amazing. So it's easy to forget how important our physical health is to our performance, especially if you're a high performer like in trading. You have to be. You really need to focus on your health. Like recently, I just found myself a really good personal trainer, physical therapist guy. So he's all about connecting strength training with mobility, with the nervous system, and just putting the whole picture together. Basically everything we were talking about just now. And it's really hard to find people like this that actually know what they're talking about. But once you do, it's really worth, spending time with them. Like I'm spending a lot of time with this guy because I know the stuff that he can teach me and train me in is really going to help with my overall performance. And that's not only in like the markets, it's also in my overall life. You just want to live a healthy, pain-free, calm life, right? That's happiness. So the most successful people I know spend a ton of time on their physical health because they know how important it is not only to their performance, but also to their happiness, which you could say the most successful people are the happiest people. So a great example is my buddy Chris. You've seen him on this channel in the last few videos, right? He's barely at his computer. He spends most of his time exercising and outdoors, hiking in the wilderness, because being in nature is actually a really important part of your mental and physical health too, but that's a different video. And he does the sauna, cold showers, the extreme temperature flips. He does all of that, everything that we've been talking about pretty much. And he'll talk more about his routines and stuff in future videos. But like I said, he spends most of his time doing that and not trading. But he still does really well in the market. Like he's pulled 7 figures out of the crypto markets in the last few years. So the way he's able to spend so much time on this stuff, because this is the stuff that makes him happy, is because all his trading is systematized. He has multiple fully back-tested strategies that he deploys. And to execute on them, it only takes him a half an hour a day. He does it like an hour after the market closes. And he actually just released his backtesting systems building course, where in that course, he teaches you how to build systems that match your personality and help you be consistently profitable. And of course, he helps you make them super streamlined so that you can, get away from the computer and focus on your health. He teaches you everything you need to know, how to build a system and how to backtest it. And he gives you like 4 systems in the course itself that you could actually just use. Anyways, this course was just released and we're keeping access open until Sunday. So if you're interested in learning more about it, I'll put a link to more information up here and down below in the description and comments. Definitely check it out. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you get email notifications when our new videos come out. We're publishing almost every single day, all about markets and business. So subscribe and I will see you in the next video. Stay fallible out there. Bye.